Actually, it's more than that. I think one of the biggest opportunities in fintech is in the developing world. And in exactly the same way as we saw the development of mobile phones in the developing world, I think that fintech will follow the same kind of pattern. In the developing world, if you remember 10 or 15 years ago, there was absolutely no telecom infrastructure. But what happened after a few years, instead of going from no infrastructure to fixed line phones to mobile phones, we leapfrogged directly from no infrastructure to mobile phones. Just because there wasn't any need to make the transition to fixed line phones. And that's pretty much what you're seeing in finance at the moment, which is you do still have quite a lot of countries in Asia or in Africa where there are a lot of underbanked people or even companies. And what we're seeing is that instead of going through all the different paths that we've seen in Western Europe or in the US of having a whole banking system, an insurance system, an asset management system, etc., you could jump directly to paying on your mobile phone, which is exactly what we've seen, for example, in Kenya. So I think the example of Safaricom in Kenya is the best example of what's happening in fintech, which is that mobile payments never took off in Europe or in the US just because you already had alternatives like cash or credit or debit cards, which were very good, which were perhaps not optimal, but which were already very good. You didn't have any of that in Africa, but people had a lot of mobile phones. So we leapfrogged directly into mobile payment. So that's quite interesting to see that the most penetration rate for mobile payment is in Africa and not at all in our countries. And that's exactly the opportunity that I think you're going to see in fintech in, for example, Africa or South America or Asia, is all those innovations which are linked to the fact that in those countries, the penetration rate for mobile phone is huge. It's huge. In some cases, it's pretty much the same as we have here. But on the other hand, in terms of financial services, it's not developed at all.